Body and the soul. So there's actually three words for life in the Bible. Again, spirit, speaking of spirit, soul, and body. So the word for body is bios, and the word for soul is psyche, and it's or psyche or suke, and it's that, and that's the mind. And here, so the word anxiety comes from a word, merimno, which means to dwell or to ponder on fearful or anxious thoughts. It's basically meditating. It is meditating, but it's meditating on negative thoughts, right? It's meditating on things that could go wrong, what can go wrong, what can happen. So Matthew 6, Jesus, several places throughout the Bible, actually, I think he says, fear not, about 365 times, so enough for each day. But he definitely instructs us in Matthew 6, and I'm going to read this, Matthew 6, to not worry. Do not worry. So this is Matthew 6. He says, this is why I tell you to never be worried about your life. For all that you need will be provided, such as food, water, clothing, everything your body needs. Isn't there more to your life than a meal? Isn't your body more than clothing? Consider the birds. Do you think they worry about their existence? They don't plant or reap or store up food. Yet your heavenly Father provides them each with food. Aren't you much more valuable to your Father than they? So which one of you by worrying could add anything to your life? And why would you worry about your clothing? Look at all the beautiful flowers of the field. They don't work or toil. And yet not even Solomon in all his splendor was robed in beauty like one of these. So if God has clothed the meadow with hay, which is here for such a short time, and then dried up and burned, won't he provide for you the clothes you need, you of little faith? So then, forsake your worries. Why would you say, what will we eat, or what will we drink, or what will we wear? And we can put anything in there, anything in there. For that is what the unbeliever chases after. Doesn't your heavenly Father already know the things your bodies require? So above all, constantly seek God's kingdom and his righteousness. Then all these less important things will be given to you abundantly. Refuse to worry about tomorrow, but deal with each challenge that comes your way one day at a time. Tomorrow will take care of itself. And yes, I know, right? He makes it sound really easy. But he is instructing and letting us know that a lifestyle of that we can have either a lifestyle of worry or we can have a lifestyle of peace. A lifestyle of worry will distract our hearts and will lead to anxiety. And so that's what we'll start with here. All right. Yesterday we mentioned briefly, we mentioned the emotion of fear. So we mentioned different emotions and how they have a function, the emotion of anxiety and how the emotion of anxiety even can have, which anxiety and fear are not the same thing. So fear is a natural emotion. Anxiety, I would say, is fear that has taken root in our heart. So it's not the same. All of us experience and have experienced fear as long as we're in these bodies, but not everyone has to experience anxiety. So this is just a little quick. I wanted to put this up here, just a quick little chart of just the functions of different emotions, and just knowing that all emotions do have a function, and the function, even if the emotion doesn't feel good, that doesn't mean that the function is bad. Okay. So we won't go into that, but you'll have that in your. So the nervous system. This is the nervous system. So the nervous system, let's see here. Sorry, my screen is. So the nervous system is basically the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, and I just want to do a quick overview of it. So the nervous system, there's two teams to the nervous system. And this is important for us to understand because, again, as we're thinking about and as we're really addressing our bodies, our souls, our spirits, I think it helps for us to understand the goal and how God designed our bodies. So there's two teams. There's the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, right? And then there's also the vagus nerve in the nervous system. Now, the sympathetic is the energizer. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. It's the energizer, it's the engine. It's what activates us. The parasympathetic is our rest and digest, right? And so that's where we need to be for healing. The sympathetic is where we are when we are in that fight or flight mode, when we need to mobilize and get out of a situation. But the things, so that the nervous system main goal, it wants to keep us alive. It wants to keep us safe. It likes predictability. And this is like the brainstem too. This is the lower part of the brain. It likes predictability. It likes to preserve energy. And so it creates systems to help us to stay safe and to help us and to help it to preserve energy. And one of those is automating. It automates the system to preserve energy, right? So, and how does it automate? Makes meaning of things that it wants to avoid and things that we need to avoid it in order to that it believes it will keep us safe. Okay.
So this all happens in the subconscious? Like we don't
Yes.
even know what's happening, but it's happening, I don't want to say in the background, but in the subconscious?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So there is and because then that's the other part. So we have the subconscious part of the brain, right? And the conscious. I say we have three parts of the brain because we have the subconscious brain, which is the lower brain, the automatic, and that's the autonomic nervous system, and the sympathetic. And then we have the conscious part of our brain, and that's the part that is the prefrontal cortex. Okay, that's the part in the front. That's the logic. That's the reasoning. Okay, so the subconscious is where we actually make over 90%, probably 98% of our decisions are from the subconscious, the part that we're not aware of, from the part that we're not always conscious of. That's where we make most of our decisions from. It's the part of us, the belief systems that were developed from when we were 0 to 7. We're making most of our decisions from there. Okay, that was where and I'll go into more of that here too. Okay. All right. So now, in regards to